Good morning, folks. Today we are going to be doing a couple best ball drafts, at least one, maybe two. Welcome into the channel. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Alrighty. So going to be streaming quite a bit of best ball from here on out. Heading into the final month, or in the final month, I should say, of best ball summer. So today I want to do either the Husky or the BBM. Husky 2. So for those that aren't familiar with this draft or this particular tournament, this is a $40 entry. The tournament is 3,000 to fifth. And you make it to the final, you get your $400 back. 10 entry max. Let's go ahead and jump on into the Husky and get this party started. Waiting for 4 people. While we wait, let's go ahead and take a look at some of my other drafts. Let's see here. We'll look at the last Husky I did. Something to do while we wait. Let's see here. Completed Husky 2. All right. Put this one together yesterday. This was a 3-5-7-3. So we have Baker, Bryce, and Rogers. Baker stacked with Ngbuka and Bucky, if you want to include the running back. Bryce stacked with Thielen, and Rogers stacked up with Metcalf. We have a Green Bay Baltimore game stack with Likely, Kraft, Reed, Jacobs, and Mitchell. And then we have a Cleveland Philly game stack, or excuse me, Cleveland Pittsburgh game stack with Warren, Metcalf, and a bring back with Tillman. Okay, not sure what that's all about. And a Tampa Bay Miami stack. So as I mentioned, the Baker, Bucky, and Ngbuka with the Waddle right bring back. So 3 game stacks. Throw Loveland in there for his high upside and throw Chase in there at the 101. I think this is a pretty good team. Should have a pretty high floor, so decent advance rate, and then we'll just have to see how some of these pieces hit with players like Ngbuka, Loveland, Wright, things like that. So let me know what you think of that team, and we'll head back over. We're waiting for 2 people. I'll go ahead and refresh. I think we're going to put together a pretty good team. Always do. I think for me, things I'm always focusing on when I'm building best ball teams is good structure, mixing in rookies for late season upside, looking for a good good mix of archetypes at each position group, high floor, a good, like, for example, in a elite QB build, tacking on another player with a high ceiling, things of that nature. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Looking forward to doing this Husky draft. We're waiting for 2 more. Just getting started with my streaming career, so looking forward to bringing you guys some good content here. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the content. While we do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up one other thing. We'll get this cooking. Waiting for 2 more. Alrighty. Husky's been stalling out a little bit here. Exactly sure why, but these rooms haven't been filling quickly. We will give it another second. So yeah, like I said, just getting started here with my streaming career, but I have been doing best ball for 2 seasons now. To give you guys an idea of my experience, I'm at about 250 drafts this year. If we take a look at my underdog portfolio, happy to talk exposures or any questions that you guys have about your drafts. But while we wait for this Husky 2 to fill, want to make sure I'm providing you guys some good content. So taking a look here at some of my completed drafts, I've done a total of 245 for this season, kind of a mix of some single entries like the Greyhound, the Corgi, the Pomeranian, or sorry, the Mini Golden. Those were some single entries. I'm up to 102 BBM 6s, so I've got 48 left to go to max that tournament. Couple slow drafts, although I do tend to go for the 20-second clock. But give you an idea here of these exposures. I think it's important to kind of see where we're at with some of this stuff. Looking at the BBM, so kind of a mix of those elites with guys like Allen at a little over 8%, so 9.8. Daniels at 13.7. Murray, I think he's been a good value this year, and he mixes in well with some of the non-rushing quarterbacks. He's definitely the best priced quarterback in terms of quarterbacks with rushing upside. Stroud, his price has fallen in half from last year, so I found him to be quite the value. He's easy to sort of backstack with guys like Noel or 100 in terms of his ADP. Dak is a great value with Pickens and C. But yeah, we can get back into that if you guys have questions. It looks like we've filled, so let's go ahead. 106. Got in here, got some non-badges, so this should be fun. 106, I'm generally targeting Gibbs if he falls. JJ's been falling recently with his injury news and maybe some FUD that's going on with McCarthy over the last couple of days. I think there's been some negative news about how he's doing in camp. So seeing JJ fall to 6 a couple times. Yeah, so we'll just kind of see how this goes. But excited to have you guys here. Let's see. Everybody is so convinced on Kenneth Walker is going to have a good season, and the offense is going to be mostly run heavy. Should we be willing to get Zach Charbonnet in case K9 gets hurt? Yeah, I've been getting quite a bit of Charbonnet as well. So I definitely would say yes to your question. And, there is a pretty long history of Kenneth Walker having different types of soft tissue injuries, groin comes to mind. I think he's had a couple hamstring injuries. So yeah, definitely mixing in a lot of sharps. He also seems like a really good player. So I'm definitely getting him, especially where I've got stacks with Carolina for week 17. All right, so Chase goes first. Gibbs goes at the 102. Robinson at the 3. Let's see here. Barkley goes 4. So for me, yeah, it's going to be either CD or JJ. JJ's fallen, like I said, to 6. This has been something that's been happening recently. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop up JJ here. I think that one's pretty easy. I do like Christian, but I generally will get him when he's falling a little bit. I'm skipping over Puka for now, just with some of the injury news on Stafford. He's falling to like the late first I've seen in a few drafts, even into the second. So no real reason to pull up Puka in this range. If I was at like the end of this draft and he's fallen, definitely grabbing him there. I am pulling up Neighbors a little bit in that case and taking Neighbors right now over Puka while we wait to hear what's going on with Stafford. So yeah, let's go to the board. I know the board view is always good for the viewers. Achane comes up into the first in this draft. So Sean pulls him up. Alrighty. Genty also gets pulled up into the first. I've seen him go a few times in the first, but a lot of times I've seen him fall as late as like 15, 16. So that's nice value there. But yeah, any questions you guys have? If you're just here to hang out, watch a Husky draft, learn a little bit about best ball, things that I'm doing in terms of like what I care about when my draft is structure and roster balance. I'm always looking for good structure. Depending on how the board falls, I kind of back into that structure. Uniqueness and leverage, ADP value, upside or ceiling, floor, and then let's go ahead and see what we've got here. So JJ Ladd, I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go Ladd here. I'm not worried about the effect. And yeah, so those are the things I care about. I think probably the two most important things are structure and ADP value, especially in the early rounds. I'm trying to scoop value. So, I mean, it's not a lot, but 2 picks of value here with Jefferson, less than a pick, but a little bit of value there with Ladd. I usually see more value in like the 3-4 ranges, 3-4-5. Like for example, Cook fell to the 5th in one of my drafts yesterday. I think it was like pick 54 or something like that. I'm going to take that and then I'm going to back into some different types of game stacks and correlation as it gets to me in the later rounds. But I think it's important to scoop value early, and then it becomes less important to scoop value once you get past, I don't know, round 10, things like that. So pretty standard, nothing too crazy, I would say at this point, in terms of how this board is falling. Starting off wide receiver, wide receiver. Yeah, so pretty typical. Hopefully there's some fireworks at some point, but nothing too crazy. I'm probably gonna max this Husky too. I'm doing some builds with some friends and we're splitting the equity. So, we're each doing like $20 and then we're gonna split the profits 50-50. That's always fun to do. If you have friends that are into best ball, definitely be sure to do some drafts with them. It's a lot more fun doing it with your friends than it is by yourself. And it's always fun splitting the money too. So let's see. Trey falls to the 3rd, not too crazy. Somebody, so Tony pulls up Allen to the 301. That's always fun to do. We're on the clock here. I'm gonna go Lamar. I like getting the elite quarterbacks here where I can. This is when you these elite quarterbacks, I think it gives you a lot of options later on. You kind of get that high ceiling, high floor guy out of the way early, especially in these time box drafts like Huskies and the Schnauzers and things like that. I think that's an advantage to go elite QB. As I mentioned earlier with the advance rates and how that works here, you get a 312. So I feel like in tournaments like this, let's set best ball mania aside for a second. In these time box tournaments, I think elite QB is an advantage here. You just got to be top 3 to get in your pod to then get into the playoffs. 2 out of 8, 1 out of 6. So I think in that format, I really like going elite QB over guys like Marvin Harrison, JSN, where there's definitely some question marks about either the player or the offense. And so yeah, I think that definitely gives you an advantage in these types of formats. In BBM, I think anything goes there because it's such a large field tournament, 667,000 entries. You just got to really mix up your builds in that case. Here, I am targeting, let's see. I like Cook in this range. I like Pickens. Yeah, either Cook or Pickens for me. I think I will go Cook here. Get my first running back. Playing the Eagles week 17. So that's an interesting matchup. It's probably going to be outside. It's going to be outside. It's going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be on in the snow. So yeah, we'll go Cook here. Hope y'all are enjoying your summer. Feel free to critique the draft. Put your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys would do. But so far, love this build. I'm going to go Zay. Stack up Zay if he's there. That seems like a no-brainer. Always like to stack up Zay. I'm in a good position on the board to get him. Won't have to really reach. He might go. But yeah, if he does, Hunter, Walker goes. Okay. Let's go Zay. We'll get the Jackson Zay stack cooking. We've got possibly the best wide receiver in the league in JJ. The ascending Ladd McConkey. So yeah, right here, feeling really good about this squad. I'd call this a balanced structure. And right now we're rocking a 1-1-3-0. I've got some nice pieces in mind later in the draft for this. But in case anybody's listening, I'm not going to give away my secrets. But I got some ideas on how I want to build this out. So trying to think 3-4 rounds ahead. Ooh, more, brother. Okay, yep. One guy that I really like in this range that's been rising is Matthew Golden. So he's been having a good camp. And Olave as well. If Olave makes it to me, that's a smash. We'll see if Olave gets to me. Definitely I'm going to take Olave if he's there. He's there. So I'm going to go ahead and smash the button on Olave. Top 10 breakout upside. Oh, that clicked off. Let me get that. Just so I don't forget about these guys. So pretty balanced build. Elite QB. Andrews goes. Okay, so Sean's getting, and he pulls up Andrews. Really surprised by that. That's good. I think here I would be looking at Warren. I like him. I could also roll the dice on Mixon if he's there. Since I've got the Ladd piece, if I can get Mixon at value, it is risky because of the injury, but he goes. So people that like Caleb, I'm not quite as high on Caleb. I think he's got a lot of hurdles to kind of take over that job. Warren's the pass catching back. We know Rodgers like running backs, so that should be plenty of work there for Warren, at least early on in the season. I like Tillman later, so I could get a little 1v1 there with Warren and Tillman if he's there in that range. Yeah, so far so good. I think in terms of other running backs in this range, I like Tracy. Could get Coleman and then look for maybe like a Goddard bring back, something like that, or just look for the breakout on Coleman. He's kind of got more of the spike week upside, I think. Shakir's also hurt with a high ankle sprain, so there's that. All right, so let's recap the build real quick. We got Lamar, Cook and Warren, JJ Ladd, Flowers with the Lamar stack, Olave, and then Reed for the bring back with that Baltimore Green Bay week 17. Tracy goes. Thinking this through a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go ETN. Pass catching back for Jacksonville. And then hopefully I can get Kraft on the way back. We'll see if he's there. If not, Njoku would be my backup, or Loveland. So I should be able to get any of those three tight ends, and they fit nice with this build. You got the bring back, the Njoku bring back with Warren. You got week 16, Colston Loveland with Green Bay, and he's high upside. So yeah, I like that. And then we'll be looking at getting maybe JJ or Herbert in the next round. So probably get those guys tagged up. And then I'll do a 2 QB build on this particular one. No reason to waste capital on a third. Be more efficient there since we went elite QB on Lamar. But yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at a really solid team here. Scooping a little bit of value where it's come to us in Olave, in particular. I guess you could say JJ too at the 6. Kraft goes, so now we're looking at Njoku or Loveland. I think I would lean Njoku there. And we can go Warren as well because we've got the bring back with ETN week 17. Might go Warren. Njoku or Warren. Yeah, let's go Warren actually. Why not? Got ourselves some Warren shares. And then we're looking at Herbert or McCarthy. Appreciate y'all being here. Happy Wednesday to all my best ball friends. Got a really good draft cooking up. Sharks goes at 118. Let's look at the board. I know you guys love the board. I always get told, can you flip over to the board? Can I see the board view? What's going on the board? I got news for you, brother. All right, so the clear target here is Herbert or McCarthy. I think I would prefer Herbert. Just think Herbert goes. Thank you, Tony. So Herbert goes. We have 2 options here now. We can go Love or McCarthy for this stack. And in just 1 second after I make this pick, we'll do a recap of the team. I think we got a really solid build going so far. Njoku goes. So unless they go quarterback, we should get one of our guys here. And then we can recap the team. All right, so Love goes. This guy's got 2 QBs, so go McCarthy. All right, so let's recap the squad. So we've got a Green Bay, Baltimore, week 17 game stack. And then we've got so Lamar with Zay with a Reed bring back. We've got JJ stacked up with Justin Jefferson, and then we've got Travis Etienne in a 1v1 with Warren week 17, and then some other pieces we've sprinkled in Jaylen Warren, James Cook, and Chris Olave. So right now we're rocking a 2-3-5-1, 9 picks away. We could target like a Goddard here if we want to get it like a little mini, but we'll just kind of see how the board falls here. I've been passing up on Samson now that he's steamed up here into this range and taken the value on Ford. Ford seems like a good bet now at his price, and you know people don't really want Ford, but I think he's priced really well. I was taking a ton of Samson when he was going around pick 200, but now he's going at pick 140. So I've packed most of my bags around 200, and I'm letting other people buy him up here in this range. I'll still take him occasionally when he falls, but I've kind of switched over to get some exposure to Ford at this point. I don't know what's going to happen with Judkins, so I'm letting other people make that bet. Other guys in this range, Tillman is a target of mine here. Did the little game stack with Warren, high upside player in Tillman, deep threat, touchdown. Let's see. Marvin Mims, Javonte. I'm going to go Tillman. Crazy. And then let's just see what kind of happens here. We got Romeo. Get another piece of that Green Bay game if I want to start to. Ford makes it back. We could go Ford. Otherwise, my favorite little piece here. Got to get my Alec Pierce shares. I know y'all like Alec Pierce. I know y'all like Alec Pierce. Ford goes. Even a Rich would be kind of interesting, but no, you don't need it here. Tony could pull some shit though with Indianapolis, but he doesn't do it. He scoops up Likely, who's unlikely to play for week 1. And scoop up Alec Pierce. I think he fits this build perfectly. And we'll go ahead and recap the team after that. So Pierce, no questions asked, lock it up, and let's go ahead and do the recap. Recap the team here. So Elite QB, Lamar Jackson, stacked up with Zay Flowers, and we have the Jaden Reed bring back for week 17. JJ stacked up with JJ. And then at running back, we have Cook, Warren, Etienne, and Harris. Warren, we have the bring back with Tillman. And Etienne, we have the bring back with Pierce and Tyler Warren. And then we've got Ladd, Olave, and to kind of round out that wide receiver core. Bretton Strange as my second tight end. And we'll probably look to add a third here to close this puppy out. Appreciate y'all being here. Noel goes. I would have liked Noel here as well for a little Houston piece. And I like Shipley as just a high contingent bet. And that's kind of where I'm like, you know, talking a little bit of crap about Yeah, Shipley or ooh, Sanders. Sanders up here is pretty nice. Or Jonnu. Let's go Jonnu, actually. He fits this. That gets me done with tight end. We got some value there on Jonnu at 187. Done at tight end, done at quarterback. And now we got 2 more picks. We'll go either running back, or running back, wide receiver. We could stop at 7 on the wide receiver since we have JJ and Ladd went heavy early. So we'll look to add at least 1 running back, maybe 2 to kind of close this thing out. Giddens, Taj, all these guys are getting some steam now. Or I should say Giddens is actually fallen a little bit, and guys like Taj have steamed up above him. I like Shipley for his contingent upside. He goes. Sanders, we might have the starting running back for Dallas if Sanders is there. Jarquez. Yeah, let's just kind of see what happens here. Like Taj, like Giddens. Definitely targeting those 2 guys with this pick. Sanders. Why not Sanders, right? Get at least one of them unless it goes back to back to back here. Sanders would be my first choice, followed by Giddens and Brooks. Yes. Yeah, baby. Lock it up. Starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys at pick 198, 17 spots past ADP. Getting some really good CLV there. And we are going to finish this baby up. More I think about it, we'll see what's left in terms of wide receivers, but more I think about it, I probably go a 6th running back here. And I think that will really solidify this build. Strong receiving room. I don't know why my connection is bad here, so we're going to go ahead and see what we got. Giddens would be my primary choice here if we can get Giddens. Give me Giddens. Yeah, baby. Oof. What a build. What a build, folks. What a build. I mean, what can you say? Let's just take a step back. Bask in the glory of a really, really strong Husky build. My boy Zero, if you're out there, I know you're going to be really happy with this build. I'm happy with this build. Only thing I may have changed looking at it, I may have gone Hunter Henry there over Strange. Yeah, that one was close for me. Outside of that, I really like how this build came together. Tight correlation, not making a ton of bets for week 17. Got some really good guys at each position, guys that are in some established roles. Yeah, wow. Okay, let's recap it. Or let's just chill. Let's wait for some high advancement rate team, and then anything goes in the playoffs. Like really, this is a solid build through and through.